Keep your hands up!
Everything that was said and done, we have an opportunity to read all of that.
When an officer shoots in Knoxville, Tennessee, police investigate, but unlike in Madison, the people have the power of review. It started 18 years ago when, just like in Madison in recent months, police shootings divided the Knoxville community. Good evening, I'm Eric Franke. After Madison police cleared an officer who shot and killed Paul Heenan in November, some here are asking why we don't have independent oversight. So we sent Theo Keith to Knoxville, where News 3 Investigates found a city's trust in its police department rebuilt with the power of review. Could it be a model for Madison?
Look at Knoxville, Tennessee, and you'll see it has a lot in common with Madison. A college culture, a bustling downtown, an engaged police department. In her fifth-floor office in Knoxville's city-county building, Avis Reed gets several of these stacks a month. They're copies of the police department's internal reviews. Reed does not wear a badge. She's the executive director of Knoxville's Police Advisory Review Committee. It can do everything from interviewing officers to watching squad car dash cams.
We have access to KPD's information, and that's very powerful because the citizens in the past did not have access to that information.
18 years ago, 4 separate police shootings in an outraged community forced the city to do something. After 3 years of deliberation, the result was a 7-member panel of well-known, diverse community members to check everything the police did.
It was not a slam dunk easy decision. In fact, the mayor at the time had to do it by executive order because the city council wouldn't go along with him. But over time, the committee's had success, and with success comes popularity. Even the police say they've accepted it, and it's made the city better.
And actually, I was very vocal.
Knoxville Police Chief David Roush was a young patrolman when the review panel was up for debate. He didn't want it at all.
What we didn't want was a witch hunt. What we didn't want was a panel set up of folks in our community that just wanted to see policemen get in trouble.
What Roush didn't see then was how the community viewed the department and how the watchful eye of a panel of their peers could help.
I got the advantage of now having that 20/20 insight, being able to look back and say, here's what my concerns were then, and understanding now the clarity of it. And seeing how it has helped this agency.
Roush says the biggest help came in building trust. As an example, he pointed to a problem his agency faced last November.
Keep your hands up! Keep your hands up now!
A Knoxville police officer shot and wounded a suspect in a mall parking lot. Weeks later, Roush went on TV to say his officer had made a mistake.
We train that you don't put your finger on the trigger until you have made that decision to fire. And he had his finger on the trigger. We haven't had this outcry of an issue. The officers didn't get excited because I went on and said we made a mistake. The community didn't get excited because I went on and said we made a mistake. And that's because of this partnership that we have and this understanding that things are going to be done transparently and fairly.
Only one man in Knoxville has served as police chief and review committee chairman, although Sterling Owen says he didn't want the committee position at first.
I was concerned how it would be accepted by both sides.
The former FBI agent became chief after 6 years heading the review panel. He says while it has subpoena power and can put up a fight, the real value is the partnership between police and the people. The review panel meets every 3 months in a different part of the city, and the executive director and police chief meet more often. The chief gets insight into the community's concerns, while the panel gets answers to its questions.
I think it has gained in credibility over time, but it's because we went in there saying it's going to be a level playing field.
Avis Reed says the best marker of success may be the smaller workload. The number of community complaints against police have dropped from 270 when the review panel started to about 100 last year. Most of the cases prove the police were right.
We've proven that we're fair, that we're honest, that we want the truth, and because of that, they are accepting of us.
And Theo Keith joining us now after 4 days down in Knoxville last week. It's a great story. How do people get on that committee?
Well, the mayor appoints and the city council can then confirm them. As you serve 2 3-year terms, members cannot be current or former city or county employees, which means no Knoxville police officers. Everybody that goes through this has to get trained in the Citizens Academy within 6 months of getting on this review board.
And as we've kind of seen in the last few months, we don't really have anything close to this in Madison right now.
No, we don't. Madison has a police and fire commission, but it is not audit or review internal investigations. It does have the ultimate power to fire an officer, which Knoxville does not have. But while Knoxville's committee gets more than 100 cases a year, Madison hears an average of 1 or 2 and not a single full case last year.
Now, on this story in Knoxville, I know the mayor got a lot of credit. He stepped up in a time of big controversy down there in Knoxville. Paul Soglin's stance on this, where is he?
We asked him today, and he's not commenting. He's not saying anything. He says he's waiting for an investigation to wrap up, even though we know police and the Dane County DA have already wrapped up their investigations into this. We'll keep on it.
All right, Theo Keith reporting. Thank you very much. And there's also an effort at the state capitol to start independent reviews. And although not as Knoxville does it, we are looking into those efforts and how a neighboring state already uses them. Theo will be back tomorrow night, News 3 at 10 with that.